Welcome in to yet another special edition of Sport Ball. I'm your boy Sam. With me, as always, are my two good friends, Seth and Kyle. Boys, we are back. It's been since January, I think, since we've let our dulcet tones worm into the ears of our listeners. But we are back. I myself am on my couch with Kyle next to me, so far from the mic that you'll think he's in another room when he speaks. Kyle, is that accurate?
Hello.
We have Seth in what I could only describe as an armchair.
Yeah, we don't believe in office chairs in this household.
I respect that.
Strange.
He's taking down the armchair industry one chair at a time.
Well, the office chair industry. I'm
I guess you're
bolstering.
actually supporting the armchair industry.
Yeah,
Boys, how we doing?
a lot better than Charlotte.
Wow.
Who's that?
The spider, you know, tragic ending.
Was she the
Trust me,
spider?
I know all about Charlotte's Web.
She was the spider, not the pig.
Correct, yes.
You think
That's
a
why it was
pig had a
Charlotte's
web?
Web.
Well,
Is that a tragedy?
there is
Am I misremembering
the
how that
tragedy
story
was that
goes?
he had to spin a web. Wasn't there like a spider pig in the
No, there was a spider. There was also a pig, but it was not a spider pig.
no, in the Simpsons movie, there's like a spider pig, right? Like
You're
it's like a
definitely
show.
thinking the wrong person about the Simpsons movie.
Somewhere in pop culture, there is a spider pig. I don't know where it's from.
You'd
And I
like to get into semantics of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm all about it, though.
Why is there a spider pig?
No, I just know much more about that's one of the first movies that came to my head.
The Johnny Depp one or the original?
Well, Johnny Depp is what, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
I don't know.
hmm
The book is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by
The
Roald
original
Dahl.
movie is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Is the Roald Dahl the same one that wrote Big Fucking Giant or whatever?
That's what I always think when I see that too.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Uh, all right, let's talk about Charlotte, shall we?
Sure.
Miraculous web.
Um,
Insane efficiency.
it's- so Seth, we got to talk about this
Okay.
because people are talking about it.
Mm.
So the play-in tournament is going on right now,
Yep.
which is not the playoffs, but it's not the
That's
regular
correct.
season. So
It
it
is
is
the
the
postseason.
postseason because it's post the regular season,
That's right.
but none of the stats count towards the playoffs or the regular season.
Must we go through this every year? This is how it's been for the last, what,
Well,
five
I don't
years?
know if our listeners know that or not.
Mm.
Might have a few new listeners. I've been kind of on the streets peddling our merchandise as it
I
is.
mean, if someone's hearing this, there must be a new listener. So, welcome.
Because so far we've had zero. So Charlotte won their first play-in game against Miami, and uh, in that game, LaMelo Ball tripped Bam Adebayo on a dirty play. Did not receive even a common foul in the game.
And not so much a trip. It was Bam was kind of starting to lean, and then it was off balance at least. And then LaMelo reached with his hand and grabbed his ankle and caused
Yeah,
him
It
to fall.
depends on the angle you look at it, because I did see one where it truly just looked like LaMelo was in a vulnerable position himself and he just tried to pull his hand in.
I mean,
So who to believe,
yeah,
right?
it could have been, somewhat of a flail. That being said, I'm less convinced of that, given that this isn't the first time LaMelo has done something like this, even to Bam himself. So at the very least, it was a reckless, dangerous play. Whether or not it was intentional is up for debate.
yeah, I agree. And we thought maybe he would get suspended, but he did not. Instead, he received a flagrant two, which having been given to him in the game would have ejected him. But instead, all it does really is
Jack shit.
nothing because it doesn't carry over into the playoffs, right?
Right. And
But he didn't make the playoffs.
Spoiler alert.
yeah,
Second part of
I
the story
mean,
is they just got destroyed by the Orlando Magic in the second playing game.
so, karma was looking out for us because it didn't, they lost anyways. So the suspension clearly wouldn't have made a difference. But I do think it was pretty bogus to just give him a flagrant two, which, as you said, is equal to an ejection. So if you're essentially saying, well, he should have gotten ejected for the play, but he didn't.
Right.
But we're not going to suspend him for the next game,
But we're gonna
even
fine
though,
him.
right, fine him what? It was like a total of $60,000 between that and also because he said fuck after
They
during the
fined him
post
basically the
show.
same amount for saying fuck in the post game.
Yeah. So if you're admitting that it should have been an ejection, then but you missed it and he played the whole rest of the game, then shouldn't he be suspended for the next game? But,
The doors outside.
the league, I think, would rather see the Hornets uh make the playoffs now. Spoiler again, they didn't.
Right.
And they'd certainly rather have LaMelo playing in the game that we just watched because then more people are going to watch it because LaMelo's playing. So it just seemed like the league is incentivized to have one of their star players still be playing, and that's why they didn't suspend him, which to me is bullshit. Um, and I can get into why I feel like it's more bullshit than the 65 game rule, which some have called a debacle. Uh, or we can save that for later.
Uh, well, I don't know if it's really matters that much now since we're about to get into the playoffs and they already lost.
True.
But go ahead, give me a quick lowdown on why you think it's worse than the 65 game rule, and explain the 65 game rule to our new listeners.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just explained why I think it's bullshit, but the 65 game rule, which I'm sure will come up at least tangentially when we're talking about awards, everyone is making this huge deal about it. And I feel like it all turned out fine, where the entire point of the rule was to prevent load management, which largely I think it succeeded. We had players, star players, playing more games because they wanted to get to 65. There were a couple players who just barely missed the cutoff, and due to circumstances not related to load management, right? And so they said, all right, well, you know what? Given those circumstances, we'll still make you eligible for awards, so we can still vote for Luca and Cade. And I feel like everything worked as it should. Now, the one caveat is I do think that should be a minutes restriction instead of or in addition to the games played limit. But everyone is making this huge hullabaloo and calling out the league for how terrible the 65 game rule has gone. And I feel like it all went perfectly. And I'm much more upset with the league about not suspending LaMelo than I am for the 65 game rule.
Yeah, I guess I don't really disagree with anything you said there. I'm glad that they let Cade and Luca back in. I just think it was
I feel like you've
um
been lambasting them for the rule repeatedly over the last couple weeks.
yeah, I would have been upset if Cade and Luca had not been allowed to, you know, be in the end of year awards, but they were. So I think
Okay.
the outcome was fine. I thought it was a little weird that they delayed awards voting so that they could go through an arbitration thing with lawyers and stuff to figure it out. That felt like it was a little sloppily managed, I'll say.
Hmm.
Um, especially because then people were talking about how they watched the play-in games, and that was going into their minds as part of the voting. For instance, Con Knipple had a poor game and was benched down the stretch for the Hornets, and he's a candidate for Rook of the Year. And Denny Avdia had 41 points in the play-in game, and people were thinking of putting him in their third team All-NBA because of that performance when it's not supposed to count for the awards, right? So I thought that was a little sloppy, and
Yeah.
I think they could have managed that better.
They also have such strong ties to all of the different uh betting sites with whatever. You have these rules in place. How many wagers were placed on players after it was realized that, hey, they're not going to reach their 65 games, so we'll bet on somebody else, either hedge
Mm.
our bets, whatever. And then the NBA comes and then makes this ruling though that
Right.
says, you know what, they actually are eligible. Like that
Right.
just seems like there might be some eh, I don't want to say sketchy because it's probably not, but just like you can't have rules in place be so tied to the betting market in general with the different providers that there are, and then just, you know, somebody says that, hey, that's not fair. I should be eligible, and then make them eligible just because they didn't meet the rules that you set.
Yeah, who made the most money on Kalshi off of this? That's what I want to know. I mean, and yeah, it is weird that it was like it seemed like this hard and fast rule, and so everyone, I thought for sure Cade was ineligible and probably Luca. I didn't even know Cade was appealing. Like you heard so much about Luca, but I didn't even know Cade was appealing either. And then like,
Really?
oh yeah, then they're like, oh, Cade's in, and
Hmm.
I think it was shocking. Like I wasn't expecting it at all. So maybe if I'd known before the season that if you're close, you know, and certain things come up, you'd be fine. Like I would have been more okay with it. You know what I mean? Like the way it turned out seems fine. You know, but I agree. I do. Not being eligible games wise, which felt a little hypocritical, you know. So I would prefer it to be minutes, but overall, I'm not displeased with how everything being turned out, I would say. And maybe the process will get smoother in the years to come, you know. This was their first year doing it, so we'll see. Um, all right.
There should
What
honestly,
wasn't it a rule last year?
it should be a
I don't think so.
games or minutes, one or the
Yeah.
other. Like you
We can
have
all agree on that. Yeah.
to play our stars 44 minutes against all of the top six seeds in each conference, and then whatever happens, happens. Play them 20 minutes here or
Yeah,
there,
that's true.
right?
Yeah.
Load manage that way.
Yeah.
So that's why it should be games, or if you don't meet the games, well, then you at least met this many minutes or something. I don't know. But I feel like it should be some type of mix, not just
Yeah.
one or the other.
I agree.
According to the internet, the 65 game rule started before the 23-24 season.
Hmm.
So last year, 2 years
2
ago?
years ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
this was the third
Wow.
year that we've had it.
Somehow I only realized it this year. I think just because there's been more controversial people that are close.
No, there were a lot of headlines regarding it the first year too. 'Cause didn't LeBron not make all NBA or something because he didn't meet the 65 games or something like that? And it was first time in however many years he didn't make all NBA.
Oh, maybe that does sound kind of familiar. Either way, yeah, I think you're right, Seth. Everything, I pretty much agree with you on both points that everything worked out well for the 65 game rule and LaMelo should have been suspended. So congrats.
Guess it wasn't that hot of a take, huh?
Uh, the other playing games, the Sixers got the 7th seed. They're facing off against your Celtics, Seth. The Blazers got the 7th seed and get the privilege of facing Wemby and the Spurs. And live right now, the Warriors are playing after beating the Clippers. They're playing the Suns for the 8th seed, and they're
And the
down.
Suns are up pretty big.
Yeah, the Suns are up 31-15 right now, so we'll see how that ends. Might have been the last gasp for the Warriors against the Clippers. I don't know. I mean, it was nice to watch Steph go off in a meaningful game one more time. Um, and it must be said, although we all hate Draymond, the way he closed that game defensively did harken back to their championship days and kind of reminded us of their winning ways. And your boy Al Horford, Seth, kind of went off towards the end there.
Just a barrage of 4 threes, just red hot. You love to see it. Gotta love Al.
Absolutely.
Billy
Uh,
Donovan wouldn't be where he is today without him.
correct.
True. So you're welcome.
Let's hit NBA end of season awards real quick before we hit NBA playoffs. and preview them for y'all. Uh, I'm gonna just list my awards, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or right. Are you ready?
Hmm.
I'll just tell you you're wrong now.
Thank you. All right, All NBA first team: Shea, Jokic, Shea, Jokic, Wemby, Luca, Cade. I was really between Cade and Jaylen Brown for that last first team spot. The first four were pretty easy. In the end, I went with Cade just because, 64 wins or 60 wins, I mean, almost 10 assists per game was running their whole offense. If you want to talk me into Jaylen Brown, Seth, I won't. I won't be upset.
I won't listen.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you where it was it was kind of a coin toss between for me between Cade Cunningham and Jaylen Brown. And I mean, when it's a tie, I got to go with my boy Jaylen.
Is that bias I hear?
Always.
And honestly, I think the only argument is that like on a per minute basis, I definitely agree Cade Cunningham was the better player this year, but
Yeah.
Jalen played more. And so if we're looking at overall contribution across the whole year, I feel like the minutes and games advantage would lean towards Jalen.
What is the game and minutes difference? Or I guess just least games.
I think it's 7 games. What that equates to in minutes, I don't know. But
I
don't you
was
think
just
if
looking it
Cade
up.
also played 7 more games, and they probably would have finished at least 3 more games higher in the standings than the Celtics? Does that sway anything? Like Cade leading a 63 win team versus a 60 win team?
It's hard to blame him for a collapsed lung, but he
I
did
mean,
miss more games.
it's not blaming him. It's just that's what happened. People gets injured. It doesn't mean it was his fault. It's just
I don't know. In my opinion, it's like if you're eligible, you're eligible. And so why are we going to defer to the fact that somebody played more games than somebody else?
Well, I
When
still
if we're
think you can
talking
factor
about
it in.
impact on the team and winning, obviously Cade is the sole driving factor behind, along with the progression by Duran, but more so Cade, I'd like to say, uh, on them winning or winning 60 games for the first time in what was it? Have they ever won 60 games? Yeah, they have, right? But how many years? It's been
Yeah.
quite some time.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting argument because they kind of have similar cases, as in both teams way overperformed their expectations this year, right? Both of them did not have a lot of help, especially offensively. Um, second best player Jalen Duren,
You're
second
gonna
best
tell
player.
me that Jaylen Brown didn't have a lot of help offensively?
Well, who's their second best player all year? Jarek White? I mean,
I don't know. White, Pritchard, all of the role players probably have better than the role players on the Pistons. That seems like a terrible argument in my opinion,
where'd you
but
say? I don't think I don't know about that. I think the role players might be better on the Pistons, but they
no
are.
fucking chance, dude.
Well, who do you think? Like, where do you start and who would you put over who? I guess is because we weren't thinking much of like Baylor Shireman or Hugo Gonzalez or Luca Garza coming into the year, you know?
I don't care if you were thinking about him coming into the year, but we literally talked about how much the Pistons need to make a move because there's nobody else for Cade. Like it's either Cade or nothing for the most part. The two-man game with Duran really picked up in the second half of the season, but Duncan Robinson was pretty hit or miss. I like it. Like I feel there's games where he was like it was 50-50 on whether he was scoring 15 or 4. And then what after that? I mean,
What about your boy
yeah,
Danis
I was gonna
Jenkins?
say I should not slight Danis.
Yeah.
Danis was he was a star for them this year. But I mean, outside of that, like if we're combining teams and saying pick the starting five, I'm probably picking Cade and Duran and the rest are from the Celtics. And then if I fill out the next three, like the 3 or 4 bench spots, I'm probably picking at least 75% of 3 out of the 4 Celtics players.
I will say the Pistons were 13-5 without Cade, so I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
that
it
was
was
all
like.
because of Danis,
I mean,
who didn't play very much when Cade played.
I feel like I would take Asar, Dennis Jenkins, Tobias Harris over Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez. I mean, Derek White is really good. Peyton Pritchard, I don't know. I think it's closer than you're saying it.
I
Like,
don't
I
think
agree
so
that
at
the
all.
Pistons role players are more defensively oriented, but we didn't I don't know. I don't really think much of the like yeah, all the Celtics role players have played well this season, but I feel like a lot of that is the coaching of Joe Mazzulla and just like running a really good offense, you know. I don't know if I would really say that the Celtics role players are more offensively talented than the Pistons role players.
what I would say that maybe sort of blends your two arguments is like the Celtics' success. It does feel like is in large part due to Joe Mazzulla and the system, the way that they're able to put those role players in positions for success. Whereas it feels like the Pistons' whole offense and scheme and success for the most part is built around Cade Cunningham more so than the Celtics' whole scheme is built around Jalen. That being said, it's not like the Pistons completely fell apart when Cade was out. So
I don't even know
that's
why
why
I'm
I
arguing
say
with
it's kind
Kyle
of a coin
because
toss.
I don't know why I'm arguing with Kyle. He's kind of making my point for me that Cade should be on the first team.
Oh, I agree that Cade should be on first team.
I
Yeah.
think Sam, you just think it's closer than Kyle thinks.
Yeah,
And
I just think it's you acted like it was outrageous to say that their role players are close in talent, which I feel like is not the case.
I feel like it is, but
But either way, I have Cade first team, Jalen second, and then I have now this is
was
because
that
I
5?
I think so. Jalen Brown,
Oh,
Jamal
yeah.
Murray, Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey.
Okay, yeah.
I did move I moved KD and Kawhi to third team. I did ding KD a little bit for having a burner account where he shits on all his teammates.
See, that's very unfair. Think about his age and the fact that he averaged, I think, the second or third most minutes per game in the NBA.
If you don't want to
why
ding
does
him
his
for
age
that, that's
matter?
fine. He's senile, so he doesn't know which account he's on.
And why does having a burner ding him? If anything, I think it's hysterical. He should get more points.
I think it would be tough if I I think it would be tough as a teammate if I knew my teammate was shitting on me, you know, on a burner account and secretly hated the way I played.
I agree. I think KD should
As
honestly
a
be getting
teammate,
more
sure, but
flack
you're
for
not a
that.
teammate making the vote.
Huh?
You're not a teammate that's voting, though.
Well, I think part of being an all NBA should be that, you know, you're overall positive for your team, right?
Where the fuck would they be if he wasn't there?
Like I said, if you
They'd
don't
all
want
be
to
a
ding
lot
them for it,
happier.
that's fine.
Would they? In the
I,
play-in?
They'd probably feel better about themselves.
Again, would they? The only person that would probably feel better about themselves is what's his name? The Jabari Smith.
I just feel like, I mean, like I said, if you don't want to ding them for it, that's fine. I chose to personally. The team always seems very unhappy, and I think he's a large part of it, which seems to be like out the case everywhere he goes these days.
I don't think that's very fair. I think a lot of the team being unhappy is the fact that they literally have to rely on a 37 whatever year old to be successful.
Yeah. Well,
But I
A
mean,
lot of it's coaching too. I
yeah,
was
but
very high on Ime,
I
the
agree.
last 2 years or so, but
Yeah.
he's been ass. He has not been a good coach this year, especially.
I
Maybe he
just,
can't handle,
yeah,
players like Durant, but I don't know.
it's just,
Maybe
I,
he needs to find a staffer for Houston. I don't know. lift his spirit.
Listen, I'm just saying if during the year you were caught with the burner account,
It wasn't
uh
even a burner. It was just released group chats.
yeah, about your teammates, then
I mean,
I'm gonna demote
that's
you.
not even like having a burner account probably would be worse than that.
I
He's
mean,
just talking and then he had a snitch in his group. That's not
okay,
his fault.
he's just talking, I don't think is fair to say. I mean, he was saying some pretty fucked up stuff about people who are his teammates and coworkers. And if I had a coworker who was texting their friends about me like that, I would be pretty upset. And how many times do we have to see KD be a poor leader on a team and move on to the next team before we start criticizing him for it? So I think it's fair to bump him to third team All NBA when he honestly should be like
But it's
the
about performance,
the
is it not?
I think you gotta take into account everything.
I don't know.
he
Like,
should be
I mean,
like the most mature guy in the locker room, and he's an immature little brat.
no, the thing is, like, Katie's always been like this, as we've kind of said, but like, he's always just been about, like, I want to play basketball. He's all he really cares about. I don't think he cares about, like, being the head guy. Everybody's got to follow me. He's never once been like that in his career. So
Yeah,
I don't
and
think that we
so
should ding him for not being like that now.
well, just because he
He's just doing
hasn't,
the same thing he's always done his entire career. Sorry, group chats didn't get released when he was on Golden State.
okay.
You
I
know
mean,
that there were some.
just because we should have expected it doesn't make it any better. Like,
listen, all I can say is they didn't release any group chats back in the day, so I didn't have a chance to ding them, but now I do.
and if there's players on third team who make a more positive impact on the culture of their team, then I think they should be rewarded for that, regardless
Yeah, I
of
feel like
if
Tyrese
AD
Maxey
has
is
a
such
history of
is
it or not.
I switched to KD and Tyrese because I just feel like Tyrese has been such a positive impact on the Sixers and just grinding day in and day out as a leader for that team. Like I feel like that matters to me. I don't
Now, what does that say about James Harden? Because that's who we learned from.
know.
That's who
Hey,
Tyrese learned from. Oh,
Is it
when he was on
not?
the Sixers.
hey, shout out
Most of his
James.
teammates love James Harden.
The All-NBA team is an annual honor recognizing the best performing players of the regular season. Nowhere in there does it say leading, yada, yada, yada. It's just performing.
I just think if a player has a negative impact in any way towards his team, I'm going to count that
What
into
does
the
that have to do with
evaluation
performing?
because
It doesn't.
it
The
affects
team performed well.
it's
They were
affect
second in the West.
it affects the way that first of all
Houston
they're
was not
fifth.
second in the West.
Second
Third.
of all,
Sorry.
they're fifth. Second of all, they
I haven't watched sports in a month, so pardon me.
yeah,
Last I saw, they were second, boys.
I'm glad we're listening to your opinions
yeah, all
on
right.
the
Well,
All
this
NBA
argument's
teams.
over.
What the
Then
fuck does the month have to do with anything?
All I'm saying is that I feel like it affects the performance on the court because all your teammates are upset with you, right? And they feel like any little thing they do wrong, you're going to criticize them and go shit on them after the
But you're
game.
just assuming what the players think. You
That,
have no idea.
well, I'm putting myself in their shoes, and that's how I would feel.
No, you're not
and
really doing that though. You're just saying how you
so
would feel.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I guess
Kyle,
if the
we've
recipient.
seen Katie's teams. To your point, this isn't new with him, right? This is how it's been, and many times his teams have underperformed, and we've looked back and like, why didn't that team perform better on the court? Same thing in Phoenix. It was like they have all this talent. Why can't they get it done? And I think a big reason of it is because Katie's not a very good leader. And there are other people on this list who their team's performance is better on the court because they're better leaders than Durant is. So that is part of it.
I don't know. We can argue back and forth all day. It's just like at this point,
I mean, I get your point totally. Like, I think a lot of people would think the way you do. I'm just saying this is the way I think, you know. But
fantastic.
we sh we should mention there's another guy dinged. I don't know if you're gonna like this either. I put Kawhi on third team because
Of the
he
playing
had
game.
I was gonna say because he had a whole scandal where he circumvented the cap by getting money for not doing anything, and it was a whole off the court issue. And also his team wasn't very good, which I think is part of it. But statistically, he probably is a good case to be on second team as well.
I'm putting
So,
Durant on second team over him.
what do you think about that? So you're not as upset about the Kawhi one?
I mean, again, it's like you want to. This kind of goes against my argument of saying Durant should be first. Maybe I don't really know. It's like a moral thing to you on as to where they should be placed within these rankings. However, if you were standing there and you were offered X amount of money and you wouldn't have to worry about going through contract stuff, so on and so forth, and you got what you wanted.
Yeah, it's
At that
true.
amount of money, would you not just say, yeah, sounds good? However, it happens, happens. That's not my problem.
Yeah, I don't know how much is really his fault. So
I
honestly,
mean, there were reports that Uncle Dennis was asking Toronto to circumvent the cap, and they said no. So then he went to Clippers and asked them to circumvent the cap. So I don't think it was really like Kawhi did nothing and then just said yes to receiving money. But I think it was more on Ballmer than it was on Kawhi.
Yeah, I can't look at Ballmer and think that he had no involvement whatsoever.
100%.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean,
So maybe maybe it's unfair to put that on Kawhi. I think also just the team started off so poorly, and like that's got to be partly his fault as well. I mean, they couldn't even make the playoffs because how poorly they started, you know? So that's got to factor in a little bit. I don't usually like me personally, I put winning, as a big aspect of all NBA. So usually if your team is not that great, I put you on third team, you know what I mean? So that was part of it too. So
But the Rockets were fifth, and you're putting KD on third team,
I know, yeah,
and they won.
didn't sit right with me what he did. Had to ding him. Uh, rest of third team. So I have Kawhi, KD, Chet Holmgren. Second best defender in the league. Always leaves you a little cold on offense, you know, but I felt like the Thunder deserved two, and he kind of is the head of their best defense in the league. I got Jalen Johnson, your boy, and I did end up putting Denny Avdia as third, but I would have had him in there before the play, and I would say, however.
We know where you stand on all the political turmoil that's going on.
I could hear arguments for other people though. I feel like the first 14 were pretty easy, and then the last spot I was like, should it be Denny? Should it be Shangoon? Cat? Maybe Scotty? Castle? Bam? I don't know. There are a lot of people you could put in there. Were there any of those you would prefer over Denny?
I had now maybe I missed this from your list. I had Jalen Duren third team.
Oh
And
shit!
Jalen Duren's the big reason why I think a lot of, uh, well, that's a major reason for the Cade and the Luca rulings is because Duren, if he doesn't even make third team now, where it seems like at a minimum he was guaranteed to have a third team spot before that ruling, he's now going to miss out on the Supermax.
Well,
Okay,
did he get it next year?
I don't think so. I
Is it
mean, if
only
he
the
makes,
1 year that you have to? Is it like
I don't, I have no idea. I just
I
know I
forget.
read I saw a couple headlines and read an article about it, but I don't know about next year.
I honestly thought I had already written Jalen Duren down on second team. So, but it's actually Jalen Brunson instead. The problem is there's three Brunsons or the three Jalen's in this
There's three
discussion.
Brunsons.
So yeah, I would definitely have him over Denny.
Okay.
So actually,
So
it's
I
easy. I feel like
think
I don't even know if I have any questions on my 15.
yeah, I think we have the same 15 then. I do have Kawhi second team and I have Jamal Murray third team. Obviously he had a great year. I just feel like he's the second option and
Right.
the first option is Jokic, so his life is 10 times easier than most other players. So guys like Maxey, Brunson, Mitchell being the first option on their team, I gave them a little bit more
That makes
degree of
sense.
difficulty points. So, and then I had KD as well in the third team. So, I think those are really the only differences. I feel like um the first team this year, I guess a lot of times it's kind of clear who it's going to be. I think the first team this year is locked in stone, and the only question is Cade or Brown.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree. Kyle, any other issues with my teams?
No,
I
I
like
guess
that.
not.
All right, MVP. This is a real barn burner of a year. We have honestly four great candidates: SGA, Jokic, Wemby, and Luca. Shall I read you some stats?
I'll allow it.
SGA 31, 7, and 4 on 55, 39, 88 shooting. Is that good?
Pretty good.
His team, by the way, got 64 wins.
Mm.
Jokic, 28, 13, and 11, led the league in assists and rebounds for the first time ever in history. Anyone's done that. 57, 38, 83 splits. Victor Wembanyama, ever heard of him? 25, 12, and 3, 3 blocks per game. Second seed in the West. Also 60 wins. Luka Doncic, back in the conversation after his appeal. 34, 8, and 8. Led the league in scoring. 34 points per game. Not
A
31,
lot.
not 32, not 33.
Technically not 34 either, but go ahead.
I rounded up. I am gonna go. This is a great, I mean, what a great cast, man. I'm we mentioned earlier did not play a lot of minutes compared to the other candidates. Um, I just feel like Shea, first of all, it's tough not to vote the MVP to a guy who's leading the league in assists and rebounds, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I just feel like Shea's team won 64 games and basically the second best player didn't play like at all this season. Like J-Dub was basically out the whole year. That's why I feel like when people are arguing for Jokic, they're like, well, Aaron Gordon was out a lot of the year. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but Jamal
But
Murray
Jamal Murray
averaged
had his best
27, 7, and
season.
5.
And Shea's second best player didn't even play. Like, I
Yeah.
know it's a deep team, but still.
I was listening to the Game Theory pod today, and they were saying I think it was 900 something minutes that Shea played without both Chet and J-Dub. Like
Wow.
neither of them
Yeah.
were on the court,
Yeah.
and they were still whatever, like plus 12 or something in those minutes because Shea was playing.
Yeah.
Um,
Insane. And he runs
so
their whole offense. Like,
yeah. So I think this is one where the three of us will all agree, because I would be voting for Shea as well. I think you could make the argument, and I might agree, that both Jokic and Wemby were better this year per minute.
mm,
Uh, but again, Shea had the edge in minutes, especially over Wemby. Um, and ultimately, looking at historical precedents of MVP, best player on the best team has to matter. And yeah, his team was incredible this year, but I would say even more so than last year, it was on his shoulders that made them so good. So um, I don't think it's a situation where OKC supporting cast was head and shoulders above the
right.
Spurs or the Nuggets supporting cast, given all the injuries that they had. So um, I'm
The
good with
OKC
SGA as well.
supporting cast probably is above their supporting cast.
Yeah, but it's not
I
as
think it's
big as it would
relevant though to the
be.
conversation. I think all three of them have really good, for the most part, supporting cast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe not Denver as much, honestly, outside of top top three, four. Well, I keep forgetting what's his name was out for
yeah,
a good amount of games too. Who
Gordon.
came on strong this year?
Peyton Watson
Watson, yeah.
and Brown was out a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah.
yeah.
But
They're
Jamal
definitely
was
not
so
as
good all
deep. I
year.
mean, Thunder
Yeah,
Thunder are deep for sure.
for sure.
And potential top or number one pick this year too.
Yeah, now they get the Clippers pick.
10% chance at a number one pick after winning 65 games.
Pray for the league, man. The other thing about Shea too that needs to be mentioned is like it felt like he shot 100% in the clutch. Like
Yeah.
He led the league in clutch scoring. Every shot seemed to go in. For the whole season, he shot 55% in general, which is insane for a guard, right? He basically shot the same percentage as Jokic, right? And I feel like the Nuggets were really not good in the clutch this year, which is surprising because they usually are with Jokic at the helm. So I feel like with that edge to it, it's just, I think it's Shea for me, and I think he will win as well this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I'm gonna go quick through the rest of the awards, and you can tell me if I'm wrong on any of them. Ready? Coach of the year, I have your boy Seth, Joe Maz, really all of our boys.
I'm pretty sure I was the only one that had them top three preseason. And
Yeah, you were high on them, I remember, and I was not, and you were right. Is that what you want to hear? He's still sulking. Uh, Defensive player of the year is Wemby, obviously. Might be unanimous.
Yeah, that would be the first time ever.
Really?
Yeah, but it's hard to
Wow.
imagine. I mean, you never know with these voters. Someone could just do something off the wall, but
Right.
it feels like how could you possibly vote for anyone else? So I hope it is
Yeah.
unanimous.
Most improved. Now, usually we say is a despicable award that we don't know the meaning of, but I feel like Nikhil Alexander Walker is a perfect candidate, actually. It's like he went from 9 points a game to like 21, completely changed his role, and he's not like a young player or like a lottery pick, right? He's
Yeah,
quite a few years into the league and seemed to like really improve and find his niche after being a role player for so many years.
the award should be called like the most surprising improvement of the year.
Right.
I it's unfortunate because I feel like the real winner of this award should be uh Ryan Rollins,
Mm.
if we're being honest. But I think like winning probably plays into this, even though it probably shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But what Ryan Rollins did this year, especially on a team that decided to start tanking halfway to three-quarters of the way in, he went from literally never playing
Yeah, there's a few like that. Like
to what did he average?
almost never playing
I don't
to playing
remember.
a bigger role. Colin Gillespie was kind of like that too. Neemias Queta honestly has a pretty decent case.
Yep.
See, the thing
Yeah.
is like though he's not really an improved player. He's just getting more time. We've known this since he was drafted.
Right, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. And again, you need more time to be more improved. It's like Nikhil is getting way more minutes too.
Right.
So it's like,
It's
I don't
He
know.
took me serious on that comment.
Well, it is the problem with the award though.
yeah, that's it's like the same conversation every time. It's like you can't separate the improvement from the opportunity
Right.
because as you start to get better, then they give you more playing time. It's like, oh, I was always this good. Well, if you were,
Right.
you would have gotten more minutes before. It's like,
But that's not true. There's so many politics within this.
Yeah, 100%. Well, he was good in Minnesota too. It's just, they had some pretty good guards that he wasn't playing over, and he was kind of like their
I mean,
defensive stopper off the bench.
yeah, he got minutes. It's not
Yeah,
like he wasn't playing minutes in Minnesota. It was just he wasn't as much of the focal point of
offensively.
the offense. Yeah. But anyways, I think Nick
I'm
Keel's
going
gonna
now.
win it.
I think that was by necessity too, though. Like if while he was in Minnesota, well, this is kind of a tough argument to make because you also have so power forward. This happens every fucking time.
Randall.
Naz
Yeah,
Reid.
because of Randall being on the team, I was gonna say he would have gotten more offensive opportunity if uh mm, holy shit, Ant missed time, as much time, or a full season, just about like Trey Young did.
Right, right,
Like
right.
this wasn't the intended role.
No, that's not what the Hawks signed him to do either. So I don't know. It's a weird award. We hate it. I'm going nah though. Six man, man. It's been between two of my loves. It's like picking between my two sons. I didn't know if I was gonna go Jaime Hawkins Jr. Triple J as he should be called because he's just better
Shout
than
out
regular
Chicago
Triple J.
Sky. We got his sister in the draft.
Yeah, and she went off in the NCAA tournament and won the title for the UCLA Bruins. Shout out. Um, but I had to go with my boy, and this might just be bias. Keldon Johnson, my favorite bench player in the league. A
Really?
mustache that can get up and walk by itself. He's the best rebounding guard off the bench in the league. Every time he comes in the game, he's
He's
just
not really a guard, but okay.
yeah. I mean, he kind of plays guard for them right off the bench, even though he used to play like power forward, I feel like. He's a swing.
To each his own.
But I just love the
No
energy
mention
he
of
brings off the
Io, huh?
bench. Well, it's always weird with players that get traded halfway through the season. So I don't really know how, and he did start a lot of games for the Bulls too, so I don't really know how that works. But since the trade deadline, he's probably would be the winner, right? And we knew that was, we knew he would be great. And we wanted him to flourish somewhere where he could not be under the stigma of Jerry Reinsdorf. And yet I miss him. And I know he's in good hands up there in Minnesota. You better treat him right.
We will.
Kobe White also wants to be mentioned, the other player that the Bulls traded.
Should he?
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just sad about it.
I think AJ Mitchell should be mentioned. I don't think
Well, he just
My
missed so many
boy.
games is the problem.
AJ
My one
Mitchell,
true love.
Yeah.
Missed so many games.
Yeah, he missed like 25 games, didn't
I
he?
think he played 57.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's eligible. Is he not? Or
I don't
was
think
it
so.
end of the season? Did he?
Does it even matter for six man? I don't even know if 65 game works for six man. I just didn't consider him because he missed so many games, but
I don't know if 65 matters for this.
I actually don't know either. But he's awesome. Seth loves him because he's lefty. Now, Seth, shouldn't you love Pods, Brandon Pajemski, because he's lefty?
No,
But we
it's
all
not
hate
all
him, right?
lefties. It's just a certain trait. Like it gives you a bump if you're a lefty, but it doesn't mean I like every lefty player in the league.
Why do I hate Brandon Pajemski so
We
much?
all do.
I'm staring
It's
at him right
fair.
now and I
Everyone
can't.
but Steve Kerr.
Despicable. Uh, should we have the little rookie of the year discussion? This is the last award we're gonna hit, and this is the most contentious, I would say. Good race here. Two great rookies. I mean, we have a bunch of great rookies, right? VJ Edgecombe and are we saying Edgecombe or Edgecombe?
Can you say
Edge
good
cum
race
in
when
his
it's
pants.
two players of the same race?
Dylan Harper is amazing. VJ Edgecombe is amazing, but it's really between Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg, former teammates at Duke, and yet they didn't even win the title. It'll surprise you to know. Um, Con 19 5 and 3, 48, 43, 86 percentage. Led the league in three-pointers as a rookie. Beat his teammate LaMelo by 1-3 actually. Insane. Cooper Flagg. It should be mentioned that Con Knibble's team was competitive, right? They won 44 games. Didn't make the playoffs as we just learned. Cooper Flagg 21 7 and 5, 47 30 83 percentages, one block and 1.2 steals per game. Played only 70 games, which was maybe 10-ish less than Khan, and his team only had 26 wins. So it's really, I think the argument here is A, how much do you care about the efficiency of Khan shooting versus the inefficiency of Cooper Flagg shooting? And B, how much do you care about winning as opposed to how much of a load like the player has on their team? Because to me, I think I would actually vote for Cooper Flagg, which might surprise you to say, given that Con Knipple is on my dynasty team and I love him with all my heart. But I just feel like I don't really take winning into account as much for Rookie of the Year because it's like usually they're on a shitty team anyway. They don't have any control over who they're drafted to. And like, yeah, Con Knibble was amazing. He led the league in threes, and we're kind of splitting hairs here, but he didn't have to run the offense, right? Like he was more just like catch and shoot. And Cooper Flag had to do everything. I mean, he led his team in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks,
And look where
and
it led him.
steals.
26 wins.
Hmm. And I just don't feel like it's his fault that his team was so shitty, and he just had and he's way better at defense than Khan, and he's better at running an
I
offense
mean,
too.
maybe he's a better on-ball defender, but I think Khan is maybe one of the more underappreciated, even through 1 year, help defenders in the NBA.
I'm not
We
saying
saw it in
Khan.
the matchup actually when they played against each other,
Yeah.
and what Khan scored 35 points, I think, sealed the game as a help defender off ball on a pass from Flag, deflecting that and going for getting fouled on a breakaway.
I'm not saying Khan's a bad defender, but Cooper's a really good defender. He's a great rim protector.
Well, that's not really fair. Khan's not nearly as tall.
I mean, that's just the facts. It doesn't matter, I'm not blaming him for being short. I'm short too, and I'm not a great defender.
We
So
know that.
I don't know. I'm not gonna argue against like Khan. Like these are both great players, and they both have great cases. I would lean Flag just because for me, like I don't think shooting efficiency should be like the biggest thing that leads someone to win this award. But I don't know. What do you think, Seth?
I agree with you. I think this is one of those flip a coin ones, where both are perfectly deserving. I would go with Flag for similar reasoning, where I think he was asked to do more and did more considering his situation, whereas Khan was put into a good role for him and he excelled. Again, I don't know that there's a really a bad choice, and I can also see the other way. It's just kind of what do you value more? Um, so yeah, I would go Cooper Flag as well.
And Kyle, you go Khan.
I think it's Con. I mean, you said that you shouldn't take winning into account, but it's like we've seen this same exact Charlotte team be bad and not win year after year after year. I'm not saying it's all attributed to Khan joining the team, but there's seems no doubt, at least correlation wise, that they improved immensely with him and his play this year. He had the best shooting rookie year ever, I'm pretty sure, if you're looking at least in like true shooting percentage. And so many of those shots were from three and in different ways, catch and shoot, pick and pops, all kinds of things. So like just to downplay the fact that Charlotte made the play in and unfortunately lost in the second play-in game, but compared to Dallas only winning 26 games doesn't seem fair when we saw the same exact team for Charlotte basically, besides one or two trade deadline acquisitions that they made, not make it as far as they did this year.
But I mean, they've made the play-in before. People are acting like it's a 50-win team. They didn't even make the playoffs. They're in the same seed they've been before without Khan. It's like, yeah, I get that they like went on a little run at the end of the season. I'm not even like arguing against it because I think he did change the culture a lot there, and I think like he's a big part of the reason why things shifted there. I dropped.
It's still in progress
The
though.
recording's still in progress though. Kyle will edit that in post. Uh, anyway, hey, what are the live odds? Like, who's gonna win? Do you know?
Well, considering after the first play-in game, because votes weren't already in, Knepel's odds dropped 22%, and then them not winning today, I'm gonna assume that Cooper Flag is going to win because this got extended past the two games that Cooper Flag didn't lead his team to the opportunity to perform in.
See, now I think that's bullshit. Like, I wouldn't have changed my vote based on the playing game.
We can all agree on that.
Okay. All right. We've gone over this too long. Let's actually preview the playoffs, shall we?
Why not?
Okay. I've listed these in order, generally order of what I'm most excited for to least excited for. First one, Nuggets, Timberwolves. The three-seeded Nuggets are minus 350 favorites. This is the third matchup between these two teams in the playoffs. You'll remember that the Nuggets beat the T-Wolves 4-1 in 5 games in the first round of the year they won the title. which they claim was their hardest series of the playoffs. Then 2 years ago, the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets in 7 games, somewhat surprisingly, given that the Nuggets went up 20 at home in game seven and still blew the game to the T-Wolves. Now, there's a few things that have changed since then, right? Because the T-Wolves don't have Cat anymore. Instead, they have Julius Randle, a lefty that Seth doesn't even like. And
I'm
I
lukewarm
think,
about Randall.
okay, I think Anthony Edwards has gotten a lot better since then. Jamal Murray's playing the best he's played.
Is Ant gonna play?
I think so. People said he's healthy.
He's not confirmed to play tomorrow, first game.
I'm operating under the assumption that Ant is playing because I haven't heard anything that says he's not going to. But do you think he's going to be late for the game because he has to shit again?
Can't be rolled out.
Um, I think this is going to be a good series, maybe the best one of the first round. I'm going to go Nuggets in six. I do think there's a case to be made for the Timberwolves. I'm not sure if the T-Wolves defense can really contain the Nuggets on that end. And then, I think they're going to have Gobert guard Jokic for most of the game because they don't have that cat option anymore. And Jokic just kind of usually dominates Gobert. So I'm going Nuggets in six. What say you, Seth?
Give me Wolves in 7, baby.
I knew he was going
I'm
to
with
say it.
them.
Let's go.
Let's
Give me the case.
go.
I mean, I see the case. Lay it out for me.
Well, Kyle's a noted Jokic hater, so that explains his vote.
Correct.
And for myself, I'm just biased. So
Wow, these are really good cases you guys are making. Kyle, make an actual case, would you? Seth, you had your chance.
Since you're telling me that Ant is gonna play, I'm gonna work under the guise that Ant is playing every game of the series. Uh, I mean, as you said, we've seen major improvements from Ant year after year after year. There's like something that he focuses on in the off season and comes out the next year and is considerably better at it. The one thing this year was the 3-point shot and efficiency. Kind of seems like he modeled a lot of stuff after Curry. A lot of that probably has to do with playing with him for the Olympics last year, at least through sound bites and clips or whatever. Uh, it seems it happened, and he was considerably better from that this year. There's a lot more help, it kind of feels like. Obviously, the addition of Ayo is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, always been a big Bones Highland guy. Never thought he had the opportunity. He's gotten the opportunity this year and has really showed that he can perform when called upon. I don't think that they really need to go that deep potentially, but he might honestly be. He's probably what third off the bench anyways.
Hmm.
So he'll probably
He'll
he'll
play.
get like 20 minutes, maybe a little less, 18 minutes
Yeah,
or
he'll
something
play for
like that.
sure. Yeah.
But you got the revenge factor in that regard too. They hated him in Denver. Look what he is now. I honestly think that Gobert has become uh better in terms of being able to obviously I don't think anybody could stop or really limit Jokic, but a better with all the time spent in all the different matchups over the last few years against Denver, learned how to better attack that matchup defensively. Now, I'm sure Jokic is going to still average like 30 points per game or something,
A tough 30 though.
but I think that there's enough on the Minnesota side to offset what Denver has in Jokic. And for that reason, I'm going to take Minnesota. It's cold. It's cold like Minnesota.
Seth, anything to add?
I mean, you were talking about the defensive matchup, and they don't have Cat to guard Jokic, and then allow Gobert to be a roving rim protector. They do
Yeah,
still have Naz Reid.
true.
Praise be to the glory of Naz Reid. And so they could do that two ways where they could have Naz guard Jokic when he's in the game and Gobert protect the rim, or the opposite, and have, Naz Reid on uh Christian Brown or whoever and be roving. So they're not completely without that possibility. And
Yeah.
then obviously, yeah, a lot will depend on health. Um, I think Jaden McDaniels has as good of a chance to slow down Jamal Murray as anyone. Um, and they've shown in the past that they're not afraid of Denver. And I think a lot of these games are going to come down to clutch performances. And like we've been talking about, Denver's kind of bungled a lot of games down the stretch this season. So um, they've beaten them before. I think the Timberwolves we've seen over the last few years will have an up and down regular season, will lose some games that they should win, and then come playoff time, they're able to turn it on and kind of strike oil. So, uh, again, I don't think that it's a guarantee by any means. I think it's the underdog play for sure, but I think it could happen. Timberwolves in seven.
Because you
All
guys
right.
bullied me about my router. Uh, I hear all your points, and I don't disagree with all of them. I think it's gonna be a long series. I have trouble picking against Jokic, and therefore I'll
I don't
pick
blame
for
you.
him.
Yeah.
Um, Next one, the Knicks minus 275 favorites against the Hawks. Hawks are scrappy with the aforementioned Nickeil Alexander-Walker taking over one of the main roles. CJ Wet Net McCollum running the offense. Dyson Daniels there to defend Jalen Brunson in this series. I think he will give him trouble, but I just can't pick against the Knicks in this matchup when they have Jalen Brunson in the clutch. I mean, kind of saw it when the Knicks and Hawks faced off last. It was a really close game, but Brunson just kind of, took the game over down the stretch and led the Knicks to win, although CJ did have a good look at a three that was right after the buzzer. So I expect this to be a good series, actually. Kind of back and forth, but I have Knicks and six in this one. What do you guys think? I know Kyle's picking the Knicks.
Yeah. I think in our pool, I picked Hawks in seven because I might even said
Whoa.
Hawks in six. Might have said Hawks in four. Uh, again, it's really for the love of the game, you know. But I think
Right.
it's could be a close matchup. If I'm just being rational, I think the Knicks should be favored, and they probably will win. Um, I think it would be funny if, with all the Knicks' hatred of Trae Young, the Hawks trade him away, and then they still beat him.
Uh, are you guys gonna make your Knicks Celtics bet that you always make?
Which is, I don't remember. What is it?
Always make, meaning we made it last year and it was $20. Who's going to go farther?
I never
So
won.
he did.
Seth would like his money back. I say you go double or nothing.
I mean, he's already paid me, so, or I already paid him, so can't really do nothing.
Okay, so just 20 bucks again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right.
Well, I headed the collision course to meet again in the second round, so it'll be
Should be a
exciting.
good matchup.
Let's go to the West again. The Lakers 4 seed versus the 5 seed Rockets. Now you might see, why are the 4 seed Lakers plus 400 underdogs? It could be because their two best players aren't alive, and 41-year-old LeBron is leading a squad of Marcus Smart, Rui Hachimura, Jake LaRavia, and Bronny James. Not to be confused with
You
also,
left out Luke Kennard.
I was gonna say dominating as well. Uh, so that's troubling. However, Luka did go to Spain. Beautiful this time of year. The line did drop a little bit because the Lakers used to be a bigger underdog. So maybe Vegas thinks Luka's coming back at the end of the series. I don't think it's happening either way. Um, it's basically LeBron and a bunch of what, C minus players. Sorry, Luke Kennard is what,
C
deep.
minus.
So I'm going Rockets in five. I mean, I was ready to pick against the Rockets in the first round. I was prepared for it, but unfortunately, without their two best players, I do not think the Lakers have a real chance at this one. And the Rockets have honestly been on a roll recently, despite everything we've talked about, and despite their clutch offense struggling. But I
That's
don't.
what I'm saying. Everything you talked about wasn't real in the first place. So
So, and I don't think their offensive struggles are really going to come up in this series. So, I'm going to pick Rockets in five, and then happily pick against them in the second round.
I
What do
agree.
you guys think, Kyle?
oh, that's the Rockets. Man.
Five.
I think that's what I had.
Seth went Lakers in four for the love of the game.
I do like to do the reverse jinx sometimes, but not this year.
Five.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Actually, I don't know why I have this one next, because I'm not excited about this one at all. The four-seeded Cavs versus the five-seeded Rockets. I just
Why do
think
you have
there's a
this one
chance.
next?
What?
I don't know. There's a chance that it could.
Cavs, Rockets?
Sorry, I meant Raptors. They're both red teams that begin with R. Sue me. So I think it could go. I could think it could be a decent series. The Cavs are minus 550 favorites, but I could see it going long. However, the problem is the Raptors have trouble scoring, right? And they're great on defense, but I don't really trust their offense. And they really haven't beaten any good teams all year. So I think they have like two wins against, the top seeds in both conferences. So I'm gonna end up going Cavs in five, but I hope the Raptors kind of make it a better series than that. I'm kind of hoping for a couple Cavs meltdown games like they've had in future or in past playoff series. What do you think, Seth? Is there any chance to be exciting?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a chance it could be exciting. I think I picked Cavs in six for this one. You never know when their offense is gonna get mucked up. And obviously first round James Harden is usually pretty good. That being
Yeah, I
said,
think, yeah.
hard to guarantee it. Um,
Jared
so
Allen hasn't really been good in the playoffs either, even though I love him.
yeah. And I mean Donnie tends to wear down throughout the playoffs. So again, he's probably gonna be fine in the first round, but I could see them
Yeah.
dropping a couple games.
I'm gonna pick them to win this series, but I'm definitely picking them to lose to the Pistons, which I don't know. They might be favorite. I mean, it might be a close series because I feel like people don't believe in the Pistons. Kyle, what do you pick the Cavs in four? James Harden?
I'll give the Raptors one.
Okay. Seth, you're
Gentlemen sweep.
you're two-seeded Celtics versus the seven-seeded Sixers. You guys are minus 900 favorites. A large part of that is because probably no Joel Embiid because he has appendicitis, which has this guy found any sort of ailment not to get right before the playoffs? I mean, he's the most unlucky fella. For
I don't even care about luck.
1 year he broke his face. 1 year he had Bell's palsy. This year his appendix burst.
What do you have Bell's palsy like it's just like allergies or something that comes and goes?
It's just been crazy what this guy's got had to go through injury wise. Uh, so maybe he comes back at the end of the series, but I don't really think they have much of a chance. Said I might go Celtics in four. I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking heavily about them sweeping this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm kind of nervous because everyone is so confident in the Celtics.
Hmm.
So
Don't
it just
be.
makes you uneasy. But um and then the other thing is Maxi and Edgecombe have been tough matchups for us.
Yeah,
That being said, with our fully healthy squad, it just doesn't feel like the Sixers have enough firepower to match the Celtics.
yeah,
So
Maxey might average 40 points a game though.
he
correct.
could,
So you going sweep, Seth?
yeah.
Kyle?
That's probably the right play.
Wow. We might have reverse jinxed you, Seth. All right. The two-seeded
Love nothing
Spurs.
more.
I'm kind of looking forward to this series actually, but they're heavy favorites. The two-seeded Spurs are minus 2,000 favorites versus the seven-seed Blazers. I really enjoy watching the Blazers play, honestly. They play really good defense. I like watching Drew Holiday, Denny
Mm.
Fan of
Avdia.
Israel.
I've always stand with Israel and Denny Avdia. Uh, However, I think a team based on Denny
What is
Avdia
that?
driving to the rim against Victor Wembanyama is going to have some struggles on offense in this series.
Hating like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're calling the same fouls either in the playoffs, probably that Denny's accustomed to. Um,
I just don't like the way his mouth looks, if we're being honest.
and what about
Who's
his mouth?
Denny?
Any obvious?
Never
Does he
noticed
wear
his
a
mouth.
mouth guard? Because I don't think he does, and it looks like he
I,
does. I
I
don't know. There's
I'll be
something.
honest with you, I cannot picture Denny Avdija's mouth right now.
Well,
Although
neither
I
can
think of
Kyle,
it
but
daily. uh,
It's not right.
all right. I have written here down Spurs in 5. I'm not really sure why I'm giving the Blazers a game. Just kind of
hmm,
rooting for the kids, you know what I mean?
yeah. Drew Holiday, baby.
Too many early fouls, and Portland goes up like by or so points, and Spurs just don't make it all the way back.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's what happens at one point.
Okay. So Spurs in 5, everyone?
Yeah.
Great. Um, the number 1 seed Pistons versus the 8 seed Magic. I haven't looked at the line yet, but I can't imagine it's very close.
Cade's back.
Yes, Cade is because he played towards the end of the season. Um,
Hmm.
his lung is fully inflated again.
Same
Uh,
here.
they pumped it up. So, first of all, it must be said, fuck the Magic. I can't believe I have to watch this team in the playoffs.
I mean, if
They
they played like they did today, it'll be really exciting. But
they played amazing,
yeah, I suspect they won't.
but their coach has got 1 foot out the door. He's gonna get fired no matter what, probably.
I mean, if they
Uh,
won, he wouldn't get fired, I don't think.
if they beat the Pistons,
No, I think
Yeah.
that he's still
I would
fired
still
because
let him go.
Paolo's demanding it. So
His own superstar hates him, and I hate both of them. So I'm not taking sides. Um, I'm going Pistons in 4. I'm not even giving the Magic a game.
Pistons in 7.
7? Care to
Wow.
explain yourself in front of this jury of your
You
peers?
seem to assume that Cade's lung is like fully inflated or something. We don't know how inflated it truly is.
Well, he
We
played
saw
already.
what Paolo can do. Desmond has been really good the last, since the All-Star break. I feel like he started so slow this year, but since the All-Star break, he's been really good.
Desmond Bain has been the one bright spot of the Magic.
Franz is working his way back up. Hopefully those minutes restrictions come off here soon, or at least we see like 30 to 32, 3 minutes a game, opposed to like the 26-minute hard cap that we've been seeing. I don't know. I think they match up decently well, honestly. So
I feel like they're just a worse
lack
version
of
of the
a
Pistons.
fully inflated lung on one side. Give me, give me. I'm still taking the same pick as you. I'm just taking them to 7 games.
I feel like I'm not even that worried about Clay because he already played towards the end of the season. He looked fine, but maybe his conditioning will take a little while to get back to your point. Uh, okay, I like that. Um, it's also crazy that the Magic we talked about before the season, like, man, they have a shot to win the East. Like, they had like a 51, 52 over under going to the season, and we all were high in them, relatively
Yep.
so. And
They
now they
started
had
off as
this,
slow as the Clippers did.
yeah. Well, and they had to sneak into the 8th seed.
We're slower.
And I mean, there are a lot of injuries, but they're always injured. I don't know. Okay, and then OKC will be the last series they're playing. Whoever wins this game between the Warriors and the Suns, we going OKC in 4 no matter what, or
I
what?
mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it, boys.
My God, we did it against all odds.
Do you think anyone is still listening?
Was anyone ever?
I
I bet Nick's still listening. Hey, Nick.
feel like Nick doesn't even really listen.
No.
Whoa.
Matt's the only one that listens. He doesn't even like sports.
Though we may have lost him. It's been so long. That's mostly me to blame. However,
We'll be back and better than ever shortly.
Yeah.
Although during the summer, there's not that much to talk about, I will say.
there's the WNBA, which this is going to be a spicy season.
Spicy.
True.
However, Minnesota to win it all.
As always, our girl Nafisa Shout out.
Hopefully she'll come back healthy sooner than later.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we want to tell our listeners before we sign off?
No, I gotta go fish on Pokemon Leaf Green, so you know how it is.
Kyle's got to go fishing. See you guys.